Hi, welcome to A Parent's Guide to Wi-Fi. Here are some step-by-step instructions on configuring your wireless router to help protect your kids and guide their internet access. So the audience of this presentation is any person with Wi-Fi, kids, and limited time. The end goal is for you to be able to offer some protection and guided internet access to your kids by being able to configure some of the settings on your wireless router. We'll break this down into 5 steps, and the steps we'll take are: first, to ensure that you are the administrator of your wireless router, we'll make sure to change the default passwords. Next, to ensure that your family are the only users, we'll disable some of the access features like WPS. And to know who is doing what on your wireless connection, we'll look at how to identify users. And to limit your kids' internet use to reasonable hours, I'll show you how to set a schedule to their internet access. And finally, to prevent access to forbidden content, I'll show you some of the basics of how to block websites. So here's what you'll need to get started today. You'll definitely need internet access. You'll need internet service set up already. This is not going to be we're not going to talk about how to set up your internet. Your internet service provider probably already walked you through that. We're going to talk about how to configure your wireless router. So you'll need a wireless router, and you'll need to have the router administrative info handy. Also, you'll need a computer so that you can access the graphical user interface of your wireless router. And if you're going to be setting a schedule for your kids' wireless devices, then you probably need those devices so you can identify them. Now, today I'm going to be using the router that I got through my internet access through CenturyLink. And you could probably find out more information about your router by contacting your internet service provider. If you have access to their website will probably tell you details about your router. And if you click on those details, like if I click on mine, I can find out the information about the first time setup and some other tips for how to use my router. You'll need to do this first. Make sure that you have your internet set up. If you don't have it set up, then contact your internet service provider, either through their website or through a phone number that they give you. Now, once you have a router, you probably have some information that your internet service provider gave you. Or if you bought your own wireless router, then it should come with some default settings. Here's an example. When I got CenturyLink, they offered an ID that they set for me. And there's some information about the router included as well. Besides the ID, they show some information about the security type, which is not so important for our conversation today. They'll give you a passphrase. This is the phrase that you use to access your internet, but it's not the passphrase that we're gonna be using today to administer your router. You'll find out that there's something called a WPS PIN number, and if you look at this, we're going to talk about disabling this because this is one easy way for people to hack into your router and your network. And you'll see your graphical user interface address. By default, CenturyLink routers come with a graphical user interface address that's 192.168.0.1. This is something that you'll be typing into the address bar of your internet browser, and this will give you access to controlling your router. And to get that control, you'll have a username the default is usually admin. And there will be a password that was set as a default password when you purchased a router, or when you were provided with a router by your internet service provider. We're going to change that password later. Now, make sure that at this point you know your router's IP address, and make sure that your internet service is set up. Once it is, you'll be ready for the next step of this video.